Hey guys, welcome back to Quantum Leap Growth. My name is Zawela. In this video, we're going to talk about a book that has massively impacted my own life. This book is called Awaken the Power Within by Gary Hussey. Now, this book has had a great impact in my life. It's changed the way that I view myself. It's changed the way that I deal with myself when I make mistakes. It changed the way that I relate to the world based on this improved understanding of who I am as a human being. Now, I'm going to start off by reading a quote that I really find fascinating from this book. Now, the quote says, "I began to realize that as powerful as fear is, and it is powerful, there was something more powerful than anxiety, more powerful than anger, more powerful than self-sabotage, and that is love." This book also goes into the direction of you being more compassionate to yourself. When you make a mistake, how do you deal with yourself? When you take the wrong turn, when you are not able to submit on time, when you fail an exam, when you don't fulfill the aspirations that you set for yourself, how do you react to yourself? How do you deal with yourself? What type of thoughts do you have relating who you are as a human being on a daily basis? This book encompasses all of these things. If you are on a journey to improve and to get a better knowledge of who you are and how to relate to yourself, how to deal with your fears, this book is for you. If you are on a journey to learn about tools that can help you improve just how you look at yourself and how you relate to the world, how you go about expressing yourself into the world without fear, without doubts, this book is for you. Now, I'm going to go about making the analysis from this book based on 3 points that I thought personally were important to me. I can go about 2 hours and mention about 20 points that are very important, but these 3 points are massively important. I found them to be the cornerstone of my understanding from this book. The first lesson: awareness is vital for transformation. The point here is that you have to learn more about yourself. It's not you moving forward, looking backward. It's you moving forward with insight of where you come from, who you are, who you've been, and doing your best to not repeat the same things that you did, because you now know who you are. You now know the patterns of thinking that you have. So one of the things, or one of the most important things, is for you to be able to analyze on a daily basis the type of thoughts that you have. The studies show that we have more than 50,000 thoughts daily. Now, it says that the thoughts that we have today are almost 90% of the thoughts that we had yesterday. If you were to write down what thoughts you had, 10 thoughts that you had yesterday, 90% of those thoughts would be the same as the ones that you have today. Now, if you do that on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and you take it to a year, that means that we are thinking the same things, and our thoughts, of course, create our own reality, because from your thoughts, your emotions are affected. How you behave, what decisions you get to make, and the actions that you get to make on this reality that you are trying to build. So it all comes from the invisible thoughts that you get, and this controls your body, it controls your reaction, it controls what you get to do on this timeline. So that's one of the things to look at when getting awareness of yourself. Now, the other thing from getting awareness is going to be recognizing your emotional triggers. What are things that trigger you? It could be people. You have a friend that whenever you talk to them, they speak to you in a certain way that you don't like, and it triggers you to think differently or to act a certain way. Maybe you become violent, or you become sad, or you cry, or whatever case it may be. What places that you go to do you have like an emotional trigger to, or you remember something bad that happened to you whenever you go to that place? And this is about knowing, damn, this really triggers me. I don't really like the way that I feel whenever I talk to this person. I don't really like the way that I behave when I go out to the clubs. I don't like the way that I react based on the triggers that I associate myself with. So this is about being aware of what triggers you emotionally. You're going to have to write it down. 5 things, including people, places, and external things that you know trigger your emotional state. And the other part of just improving your awareness of who you are based on this book is about creating daily moments of reflection. So this is about you sitting down for 10 minutes, writing down the thoughts that you've been having, the patterns of thoughts that you've been having, realizing that your negative thoughts are not you. Treat your negative thoughts like a bad roommate, or someone that does not want you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. When you are sitting down and making a reflection, write those thoughts down. What did you think? Positive, negative. Now, if you've detached your negative thoughts from who you are as a human being, let's say you've assigned your negative thoughts to a friend that never wanted you to become anything in the world. Let's call that friend Tim. Now, you would like to become a doctor, and Tim is telling you inside your brain that you are not good enough, you are not smart enough, you are going to fail. Are you going to listen to Tim, who has never wanted you to succeed in life? Of course not. That's one part. Dissociate from the negative thoughts. You are not your negative thoughts. Going back to the reflection, so write down a few negative thoughts that you've had on that particular day. So this is like a 10-minute reflection review. Write down places, people, and external objects in this reality that trigger you emotionally, that change your emotional state. It could be good, it could be bad. It's important for you to increase your awareness of knowing what brings joy to your life, what tears or brings a bit of sorrow or just negative energy into your life. And the other part is just about you knowing who you are as a human being, and this is a continuous work. You are not gonna just sit down one day and now you know who you are. It's you taking the time to sit down and listening to yourself. It's you taking the time to reflect on who you want to be and what are the external objects in this reality that are stopping you? It could be your thoughts, it could be your friends, it could be family members. So this is about you making an analysis of what could potentially be preventing you from growing as a human being. The second lesson from this book is about healing your inner self, which unlocks potential. I'm going to start this one by reading a quote from the book. One quote that I really resonate with is, "To love and accept yourself fully, exactly as you are right now, and to transform fear, anger, and self-judgment into self-love, self-acceptance is the only place from which you can create a new future of ease and happiness." Going to another quote that I really found profound. It says, it is important to remember that comparison, self-judgment, and self-criticism are things we learn. They are skills and thinking habits that we create within ourselves. If we can create these in the first place, then we can also learn new skills such as self-compassion and non-comparison. Now, this lesson is about you knowing that past experiences such as fear, lack of self-worth based on what happened in your own life, fear of judgment. You could have went into school and the teacher asked you to present and you were not ready. Your classmates laughed at you. Now you have this fear of judgment. You are afraid to make a mistake. You are afraid to go out of your comfort zone because they're going to laugh at you. They're going to talk about you behind your back. And this attitude of being perfect in everything that you do. This lesson is about really healing your inner child. I have a story. I remember a moment where my dad had just shouted at me, and it was about the fact that I was crying about something. Now, one thing to realize that I just realized as I'm thinking about this right now, our parents are nothing but just wounded children. Now, of course, they did the best with what they learned, what they could manage with at that particular period of time. They were not psychologists who had experience. They're not doctors who had worked with trauma before. They didn't know how to really deal with their own trauma and how to raise their children without having to pass this trauma onto their children. This is something that I am learning as time goes on. Now, going back to my younger self, where my father was shouting at me, as I remember, he was shouting at me at the fact that I was crying. Now, as a young child, how do you tell a 6-year-old that he's not supposed to cry for whatever reason? Now, the lesson is about you healing your inner child. How do you do that? You go back to that child who's crying. You let them know that their parents loved them. Their parents did the best that they could with the information that they had at that time. Their parents were just wounded children who didn't know better. You let your inner child, who is a 6-year-old who was treated that way, let them know that you love them. Write a letter saying that you love them. They they are accepted as human beings. They have the right to express themselves as they did. This is about you being compassionate to your inner child. How you wish that someone came when you were crying back then, when you were 6 years old, when you were 10 years old, when you were 15 years old. How you wish someone came to you at that time and said, it's fine, you can cry. Even if you do cry, people, your mom, your father, your siblings, they still do love you. It's okay to express yourself that way. This lesson is about healing your inner child. Now, I'm going to read another quote that I thought was impactful and powerful from this book. Now, the quote goes like this: reflecting back on my younger life, I realized that I didn't have lots of demons in my mind. I had one, and it turned out this demon wasn't the big, scary monster I had imagined. It was my old 8-year-old self. You have a younger version of you based on the experiences that you've had. This younger version that exists within you is waiting for you to come back and let them know they are loved. Let them know they are enough. Let them know that they have the right to express themselves as they did. Let them know that they are safe. Let them know that everything is going to be fine. Let your inner child know they did not make any mistake. They are children reacting how children are supposed to react. And our parents in those days are nothing but wounded children. If they knew better, they would have done better. I would implore you to have a sit. Think about the moments that were difficult. When you look back, someone shouted at you for doing whatever it is that you did. You wanted someone to be there, a parent, a guardian, but no one was there for you. Go back to that inner child, the younger version of yourself. You could have been 15 years old. Go back and let them know that they are loved. Go back and let them know that they are enough. Go back and give them a hug. Let them know that everything is going to be fine. Have compassion to yourself. Once you can really go back and share this self-compassion with yourself, with your younger version of yourself, you are going to release a lot of trauma. This is going to be a transformation that is going to change your life. Go back to your younger self. Let them know that everything is going to be okay. Let them know that they are loved. Now, the third lesson is about that purpose comes from living authentically. I'm going to start this one as well by reading a very impactful quote that I got from this book. It says that we experience the world not as it actually is, but through the lens of our inner beliefs and expectations. A building cannot stand outside the size of its foundation, and our lives cannot be bigger than, better than, or different from our own beliefs. The lesson: purpose comes from living authentically. Now, this goes to you creating core values of who you want to be, who you are as a human being. Now, these core values are the ones that are going to direct you into the future. And one of the few things for you to ask yourself is, what matters for you? What's the biggest thing that you say that you want to attain? What's the biggest goal that 5 years, 10 years, this is what you need for yourself? Once you can define things that matter to you, family goals, relationship goals, financial goals, social goals, economic goals, if you can define what matters to you, then you have a foundation of where to start or also where to go, because now you are defining the direction of where you want to go in your own life. Now, the other part of this is to define what type of person you want to be. This deals with the character, the value system. After you've defined the purpose, this is who you want to define. This is what you want to define. Who are you? Who do you want to be as an individual? When people are saying your eulogy, what do you want to be remembered for? What type of character do you want to be remembered for? And the other part about purpose coming from authentic living is, what impact do you want to have into the world? Now, this is about what you want to, what service, what solution you want to bring to your community, to your nation. What type of goals do you want to exchange for your life? Now remember, every goal that you set for yourself is going to take part of your life. Which goals, what impact is worthy your life? This is something that you have to think about. The impact that you want to have is going to be as an exchange for your own life. Now, what impact coincides with when you are no longer here and you look at everything and you can say, this impact is what I want to have. This is what I want to be remembered for. This is what I want to help the nation, the community that I come from. This is the impact that I want to leave when I'm no longer here. Now, the other part of purpose coming from authentic living is aligning your daily life with the values that you've just set for yourself. Now, you have the values that you've just set for yourself. What's important to you? What impact you'd like to leave on this planet? What type of person do you want to become? Now, this is where the real germs of this comes from. When you are laying on your casket, if you had a choice to say 3 or 5 things that you wanted people to say, this person was like this and this and this, what would you say those things were? What would you want people to remember you for? What type of character were you? Now, the other part of this is to define the impact that you want to have in the world. What value do you want to bring to your community? Now, remember, the big code is not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. What do you want to sacrifice for your country? What do you want to help your country with? What service or product do you want to bring into the marketplace so that you can help people that are around you, in your community, in your region, in your nation? Now, the other part of this lesson, which is about purpose comes from authentic living, is aligning the core values that you've just defined above to your daily life. This means that you've defined the type of person that you want to be remembered for. You've defined the impact that you want to bring to your nation. You've also defined what matters to you. This, in essence, means you've created a direction of where you want to go. Now you have your friends calling you to go to the disco. You have your friends calling you to go to the clubs. You have your friends calling you to go and rob a bank. You have your friends calling you to say let's go and watch Manchester United play Arsenal. And this possibly is against your core values. This is against who you are, what you've just defined above. The question is, what do you do in this situation where the people that you've grown up with are coming up with activities that don't match up with your core values? They don't match up with the person that you've just defined above. They are taking you from the direction that you've just set for yourself. What do you do, or how do you react to those people? The other part of the lesson 3, which is about purpose coming from authentic living, is about you expressing your authentic self. It's also about you being able to say, no, I'm not going to do that because this is not who I am anymore. They want you to drink. I'm not continuing with that behavior anymore. This is not who I am anymore. This is something that an authentic expression of your life is something that no one can ever say, this is you being authentic, this is 100%. It's something that you work on. And of course, you're going to be a different person at work. You're going to be a different person at home. In the street, when you're walking, you are a totally different person. Now, being authentic is only defined by who you are and the boundaries that you've set for yourself. This book, Awaken the Power Within, has a lot of nuggets that can really transform your life. If you are looking for tools to have a better understanding of why you do the things that you do and healing your inner child and overcoming self-doubt, overcoming the fears that you go through on a daily basis, this is a book that I would recommend. If you are looking to become a better person who let go of restrictive mindsets, who let go of doubts, who let go of a constructed self that was imposed on you by your society, by your family, by your friends, by your classmates, by an educational system that you didn't create, this book is for you. If you are someone who is looking to improve their lives, looking to transform the version of what they call is their current reality into something else, if you are someone who is looking to let go of the disease of distraction, this book is for you. I cannot talk too much about this book. Go and get it. Now, in the main or the front page, it says that let go of your fear, discover your infinite potential, become your true self. Ask yourself, are you someone who is seeking to become that true self? Are you someone who's seeking to find that true potential? These are all questions that you have to answer yourself. Go and find the book, get it, read it, and look for your true self. Discover your true capabilities. My name is Zawela. See you on the next episode of Quantum Leap Growth. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the show. Thank you.